Not touching yourself doing the thing. Are we recording? Oh, whoa, would you look at that?
Going for like 15 minutes.
I didn't know that.
Oh, it's been going?
Because I started it for the sound and I just kept it going.
Okay, well, welcome to today's episode. We're going to be talking about something.
What is it? You didn't tell us what it was.
Today, we're going to be talking about Florida Man.
That's not scary.
It's mysterious. Because
not...
Florida Man, where's the circus of mystery? It's a mystery project.
I'm sad now.
So, Florida Man. I'm going to be looking at some of these from these headlines. We're going to see if anything interesting
it's
happens.
all the trail mix's fault.
If we don't find anything interesting, we're going to find something else to talk about, find some news articles. Put that away, unless you're going to go find some news articles.
This is my news article.
Go find a news article better than Florida Man, because I got a few here that are pretty funny.
Did we already do Florida Man?
No, that was something else we did by ourselves.
I know, but like...
Besides, remember when we all got naked and started touching each other?
What? Oh, which time? Okay, I'm gonna find a spooky Florida Man story.
Okay, so one of them here.
No, it just doesn't sound right. Like,
what?
Spooky Florida Man?
Florida Man kidnaps 16 kids in basement.
Okay, this one says Florida Man arrested during shop with a cop at Walmart. You good there?
I keep getting shivers.
That headline touch you real good.
6 scary Florida Man horror stories.
Let me look at
That's 15
serial
minutes long.
killer news.
Why are you over there?
I don't know.
Torso killer Richard Cottingham to admit to 5 more NYC area slays.
Isn't NYC New York?
New York
City. This is what he looks like.
Santa?
He literally looks like Santa.
It literally does.
So yeah, this guy, infamous serial killer known as the Torso Killer, he carved up the victims because of how he carved up the victims. He's gonna be guilty.
Imagine like cutting up them, but like you had like a cookie cutter of a penis. So you just, and then you have like a chunk of a body that's a penis shape.
So today, what we're gonna be talking about. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about how we would be a serial killer. He's not gonna get us put on any lists.
Oh, okay. So it's not Florida Man.
No. So I'm changing it now. We're gonna switch it up here.
But I found Florida Man describes surviving in haunted house during lockdown.
What?
I don't know. I want to read it while it's long.
We should do that in a different one.
Oh, look at that grandma.
That's a scary grandma.
Oh, look at that's not a grandma. Okay. I'm gonna scroll up now.
Did you find something fun?
A lot of ads that I don't want to see.
Here's what we're gonna do. I want you to describe to me, if you were a serial killer, who would you target, how would you do it, and why?
I would target,
Well said, well said.
Would you target Cheez-Its, perhaps?
You said you didn't want a snack earlier.
Okay. I've never had the bacon
I
one.
wanted to throw it, but it would get all over the floor.
They're bacon and cheese. They taste good.
I know they do. That's why I get them, because they're the best.
She's got a Roomba, but a
Roomba horror stories.
Who would I kill? And how I would do it?
I know who you'd kill.
Who?
I haven't thought about that part yet.
Then why did you say you know? I don't know. That's a very tough question, because like if you like to kill someone, that's like a big thing. I guess. I mean, I would only really kill someone if they like did something like personal to me that was like.
I
really
called
big.
you a poopy head.
Yeah, exactly. I would snort them for dinner.
Okay,
Or
well,
disrespected your favorite Skyrim follower.
Yeah, exactly. Like if someone like like a home intruder, they were like, like risking the good health of my family, then yes, I would. Why is it funny?
No, it's not that it's funny. It's the way you describe that. You said good health as if you're like some British guy. The good health of my family.
I'm not very good with formulating
with
words.
words.
Right.
I'm not very good with words.
Words.
Okay, that's boring. Let's go a different route. Serial killers and
Canadians. Drink the maple syrup.
I'm gonna change the topic one more time.
Wait, I was thinking of an
Okay,
idea.
Antoine, what's yours?
I wasn't done, but I was thinking of one.
Well, okay, and then here's what we're gonna do. If every famous serial killer ever was in like the Hunger Games, who would win?
Ted Bundy.
Joe
Ted Bundy?
Biden.
You say that because that's
Wait,
the only
serial?
name you know?
No, there's
Does-
Albert Fish.
Albert Einstein? I don't really know.
Albert Fish.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer.
He was a pedophile
Dracula.
molester cannibal.
Yeah.
Oh, so all of them.
Have you seen the Dahmer show? I haven't
Not
either.
yet. I want to.
Not Dahmer. Is he a cannibal too?
Oh,
Jeffrey Dahmer?
is he a cannibal?
Pretty sure he was, or something close to that. There's Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper's cool.
Who's the Dracula guy?
Nosferatu?
Yeah, Nosferatu.
That wasn't a real person or
I
a.
was just kidding.
Oh, you mean Christopher Lee?
Here, let's see.
No.
Let me look
He
up.
played Dracula like a bunch of times.
No,
famous
there,
serial-
what's his face? He had like he was like what Dracula was based off, I think.
Jack the Ripper.
No, it's that guy I'm thinking of.
Oh, Ted Bundy.
No.
There. Okay, so we got
SpongeBob.
7 of history's most notorious serial murders.
He like had spikes up to his house of people's heads.
Oh, Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
Oh
I know what you're
yeah.
talking about.
So there's Jack the Ripper, Jeffrey Dahmer, Harold Shipman. I don't know that one.
Oh, he was a doctor. I actually know about him. He was like a doctor. He killed like 200 people, but he would he was a doctor, and so he would like. I said he was a doctor so many times.
Was he perhaps a doctor?
No,
Oh.
he was a physician, and so he
Wait, hold on.
he would kill them. He would like put drugs in them and kill them, but then like write it off as like, oh, he died of natural causes. So that's how he got away with killing like so many people. I think it was 150 to 200 people.
You know, there was a guy who would pick up girls from there, like, oh, you know, you need a ride.
I was like, what? Is it picking up
You need a,
wings to,
like,
like,
oh, you need a
drive?
ride home and stuff, and then he would kill them. And at one point, he killed his own mom and then like skull fucked her head, like cut it off. But that's like it's scary because it's like you know, he just picks up like random, like, you know, just anyone could be a serial killer, like
There
Antoine.
was some
here.
really famous ones. Ohio's got
Ohio.
505 serial killers.
Ohio is like, have you seen? I love the memes for Ohio.
Is this just a serial killer discussion then?
Destruction.
Yep, I think we're just.
Yeah,
talking
we're
about-
roasting all serial killers out there.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk about one then.
Taco Bell?
There was one that I wanted to go over.
I'm gonna talk about this guy. Okay, this guy is called Albert Fish. He's an American serial killer, rapist, child molester, and cannibal. That's what Wikipedia describes him as.
Wow, that's
Delightful.
He looks like a
Oh, his head, the way his head like grows up, it looks like it fills up the hat.
He was also a masochist. He would take needles and inject them into his or stab needles into his balls.
If I like cross my legs weird, my balls start hurting, and it's not fun.
Victims 3 to 9.
Wow.
He was like he died. Oh, he was apprehended in the 30s, so it was a while ago. To 9.
I was like 15 then.
Basically, so you know how I found out who this guy was?
Fish?
Albert Fish, do you know?
Because fish?
So it actually, weirdly enough, it starts with Geometry Dash.
No.
What? Everything with you starts with Geometry Dash.
Do you remember? I don't know if you know, but there's this one song that was like one of the custom levels. That was like a really creepy song talking about like creepy stuff.
I mean, yes. The is it like
The skull
Gracie or something like that? The chain one?
Grace was like the.
Grace, yeah.
That was the somebody who was in it. Yeah, there was like the chain. There were the chains, and it was like I don't know. It was like
Little
the yeah.
Gracie,
It was like the Wolf of Wisteria or something.
Yeah.
That song is about this guy.
I used to have nightmares about that song.
Yeah, well, that's about this guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so he, the last victim, is what that song is based about. He's also called the Gray Man, the Wolf of Wisteria, or the Boogeyman, the Brooklyn Vampire.
Isn't that a song called like Hysteria or something?
Wisteria,
Or the
something like that.
the level or something?
Yeah, it was something like that. He
Like
was
that-
electrified to death.
See, that song, the reason why I kept having nightmares about it was because it's so catchy. I don't know why. It's just it's like now it's stuck in my head.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but yeah, but you makes sense to be afraid of it because it was about a
Little Gracie
this guy.
found a strange house.
so Grace Budd. This was what the song was based about.
That's a child.
Or that's the child that the song was based about.
We should do a whole episode on this.
Because he sent a confession to her parents, like through an email, or not email.
Jordan email. Dear Mrs. Gracie, I am sorry that I...
1934.
The 30s?
He sent like a letter to her parents explaining exactly what he did to her, but he said specifically, "I did not rape her because I wanted her to be a virgin, but he ate her." He sent a letter to her parents.
Imagine getting that. You're like sitting there one day, you're like, oh, it's
Well,
for me.
I feel like one day, like they knew, like they had to have known their kid was like missing, right?
Well, I'm sure they knew.
So they weren't probably just sitting around one day. They were probably like, freaking out.
No.
So that would be even worse. Imagine like you're like
magazines, like where they cut out a little piece of magazines and then like piece it together so you can't see the handwriting.
I remember not too long ago, maybe like 10 years ago, no, 6 years ago, or something, 5 years ago. Remember there was a teenager who he kidnapped. There was this little girl. She was riding her scooter around or something, and he kidnapped her, and they found her chopped up remains in a trash bin.
Ew.
Yeah, and I remember hearing about that. That was like, it was like literally and they caught him.
Anyway,
okay.
I found the letter that Albert Fish sent.
We should not read that.
Do you want to, or
I'm
should we save it for
curious.
another episode?
No, I feel like we can't make a whole episode.
What if we do?
about
Why don't we do
this.
the next episode all on him? Because you can now research because you know him pretty well. I guess. Because I have another one.
I just want to read the end. This is the part I was talking about.
I was thinking the next episode.
Oh
we
my
could do
god.
On the Winchester house, like the movie.
Oh.
We should just write. We'll write down a list of.
Okay, I'm just gonna read the last sentence. I did not fuck her, though I could have if I wished. She died a virgin.
No, we'll read it in the next one.
No, I'm
You should read on your-
curious.
Because I want to talk about this one. This one's really crazy. There was a guy.
Oh my god.
That's why I want to read it, because he's like, oh my, and you're like looking like,
Should we just
Moving
make this
on.
the episode about him since we already talked so much about him?
yeah. Well,
We've already talked about a bunch of other stuff too, and I want to talk about
let's
this one.
let's just forget about him and talk about him now, and then this is gonna just be like serial killers. I mean, to read another one like his, it can just be a longer episode.
We'll just go over a few serial killers. And
So we do him later then?
we'll do a bigger episode, like a full episode on him
Bigger.
later, but we can read the letter now. Anyway, looking at this guy, his name is Andrew Kehoe. Okay? He murdered an entire school.
What? How
Okay.
many people? Well, I guess back then schools were a lot smaller. So.
Okay, so it wasn't like the whole school. So it was 38 elementary school children, 6 adults, and injured at least 58 other people.
So
by
that's not
explosives.
killing an entire school.
That's the whole school. So all that because he blew up the school.
Oh,
So basically, this guy was working at this school as a janitor. I think he was just a fucked up dude, and all throughout he was doing weird shit, and nobody noticed because he was looking around the place looking for places to plant these explosives, and so he was looking around, and eventually he does plant them, and then he blows up. But he also sets fire to his house, his farm, burns his house down, blows up the school, and murders his wife, and then blows up his truck when people try to get close to take him to arrest him.
so he killed himself?
So he killed himself and a bunch of other people.
Damn, that's...
And I think it's one of the biggest school massacres of to date.
See, that's crazy, because, like, imagine, like, you're the wife or whatever, and, like, you fall in love with this guy, and then, but then just suddenly one day, like, your husband or wife or whatever just goes, like, insane. Like, that's just...
Well, you want to know why he did it? Because he was angry of taxes. So he was pissed off because taxes, and he had lost the election for township clerk.
So he wasn't
And he
crazy,
was so
he was
pissed
just angry.
off. And he was so pissed off that he blew up the school.
I mean, he's still pretty crazy if you do that by just being angry.
It's not like he just went up and was like, I want to blow up the school because I
He
want
didn't just
to.
do it randomly.
Yeah, and then there was another serial killer. I forget her name. I think it was Lucy Lucy Ledby. Okay. This lady's crazy.
I just witnessed a whole Morgan moral dilemma. He walked over around the table, he went to grab the Cheez-Its, and I saw on his face, he looked deep inside himself and was like, am I willing to face the consequences of eating these Cheez-Its? And he said, and then he turned around and walked away.
It wasn't about, like the health part, it was the fact that it's going to be like into the microphone, and then both you would get, like, angry at me.
That's the first time I've ever seen you have self-control.
Anyway, so this lady, Lucy Letby, she murdered infants. She succeeded in killing 7 babies, tried to kill 10 others. Okay? And
Why was she just killing babies?
because she wanted to. So this one was that one that was actually quite. So she works in the neonatal ward, like the prenatal, whatever, right?
What?
The ward where they take care of newborn babies.
The ward.
What?
Ward in a
Oh,
hospital.
ward. I thought you said.
I heard war as well. Yeah.
I
So
thought you were saying like what, but like spelled like WOT. Like,
Oh.
what?
I was hearing war.
So she's taking care of them, and she's just murdering all these babies. But she's telling them that
That's not
they
taking care
died.
of them.
One of the moms of the kids walks in on her trying to kill a baby.
How do you wait? How was she killing the babies?
So there was a room. There was this room where all the newborn babies were, right, while the mom recovers and whatever. And so they had them all there. And so she would go in there and she would like strangle them, suffocate them, and just kill the babies, and then tell them that they died of natural causes or something. And then a mom walks in on her doing it. I want you guys to guess what she said to the mom walking in. So the mom walks in. She's trying to kill her baby. What do you think Lucy Letby, the serial killer, says? She said, "Trust me, I'm a nurse." And the mom walked out and she killed the baby.
You trusted her?
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Because she's a nurse. I mean, you walk in and a nurse is taking care of your baby. Is it what it looks like?
Okay.
What
If
was
you
she
walk
doing?
in, she's like, like strangling an infant.
Well,
in your-
her back is probably turned and she's like taking it like this. And she looks over and the mom is there. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm a nurse. Trust me, I'm just helping it out. It's not breathing." And then she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she kills it.
Was the baby crying?
Probably not if it's being suffocated.
I'm pretty sure if I were to suffocate you right now, I'm pretty sure you'd be fine.
New test.
That's not how you
Oh
suffocate.
yeah. What was
Yes,
that?
it is. If I cover your nose like this, if I take this,
It looked like you were.
Cry.
It looked like you were trying to break it.
I can cry. There's nothing
see,
you
I
can
you,
feel
you
like-
have the lungs of a grown
I
ass
feel
man.
like with
though.
the technologies of 10 years ago, she would have just like used like a drug to like put him to sleep kind of thing.
She probably, I'm sure she did drug him, but
Can I see a mugshot?
that's who it is.
I mean, she just looks like a nurse.
Yeah, she looks normal.
She looks like if you were
Except
like
her
Google.
eyes are like down syndrome.
She looks like those pictures. If you like go on like Fiverr and you see like those pictures of like the very like generic like
Yeah,
basic
yeah.
people just smiling. That's what she looks like.
Yeah, honestly.
So this is the one that's crazy. So the premature baby weighs a little over a pound, and then she got the baby got violently sick. As the dad of this baby was talking, he says that he found the baby projectile vomiting and bleeding from the trachea. So it was. They thought that
Wait, what did you say? Projectile vomiting?
yes.
The trachea is your like.
So it's bleeding
Yeah.
here, bleeding in the throat, and vomiting everywhere. It's this newborn baby.
Okay.
Infant, right? But the baby survives. Lucy Letby, this killer, tried 2 more times to kill the baby.
So wait,
She
it was
trying.
doing that because she was like choking it, or
I think
was it born that way?
I think she was going in and like slowly poisoning this baby. And this family, she had gotten to know them. And now she's on trial. And she hasn't been, I don't think she's been.
So this is 10 years ago.
10 years ago is when it started. So they're just finding this stuff.
How much more like conviction do you need? Like she kills babies. Like well.
Well, because they don't have like a solid. Nobody ever saw her officially doing
Then
it.
how?
The
What
one
was
lady
the,
walked
you just
in.
read?
Well, the one lady walked in, seeing her doing stuff, but she could, because if the mom walks in, sees Lucy taking care of the baby, saying, "Trust me, I'm a nurse, I'm helping it," and then the baby dies, she could easily say, "Oh, I was trying to help the baby, but the baby was dying of natural
Yeah.
causes."
See, if I was like a mom and I gave birth to my child, I would like either I would not want it to leave my sight unless it, or if it like needed care or whatever, like my husband, like go with them.
Well,
I
that's
wouldn't
the
just
thing is usually they're like all the newborn babies are in like you can see through a window and you can see all of them, but she's doing this at night when all the babies are supposed to be sleeping.
well, wouldn't you?
And it's a nurse. You trust a nurse, right? They're there
Yeah.
to help you.
Yeah.
And then she's murdering all these babies. So there's another fun one.
That's got to be so sad. I feel sympathy for all these parents.
Well, yeah, and she got to know one of these families, so she was like friends with one of them. And then she tried twice more to kill the bad baby. it never worked. She's still alive. The baby that she tried twice more to kill, and I think she has cerebral palsy because she had some brain damage from Lucy Levy.
Damn.
So yeah, that one was insane.
That's so fucked up, man.
It is. Anyway, yeah, I think we're at about an hour now, so I think
But
we
a
can.
lot of that's gonna be cut out.
That's
We
true.
Probably 10 minutes
Like
of it.
no, like
it's almost more than that.
yeah. There's the first 15 minutes of us screaming about that thing,
Oh, that's true.
and then there's the probably what 15 more minutes.
All right. Well, Morgan, do you have I brought a serial killer to the table that we talked about.
Yeah, you brought one. He brought one.
I've got a few good ones.
He
that I
brought
could
two
do.
actually. Technically like 4, but we don't count that because he's not friendly with my next gen gaming console.
Okay.
Words just kept coming out of my mouth, and I had to pick random words that I knew.
You were like on a screen, you're like, that one, that one, that one.
Yeah, pretty much. There was no meaning attributed with those contributing. What is a trip?
Well, I have another one if you want me to.
Hey, this was cereal like the type you eat.
Okay, what about this? What's your favorite cereal? While we stall for time for Morgan to find something. Not you. You have to find something.
Raisin Bran.
Okay.
I don't know.
I've had Raisin Bran more than
Here's
any
some
other cereal.
9 currently active serial killers. Okay, well, here's some. One New York serial killer has been plying his grisly trade for over 20 years now, killing at least 10 victims between 1996 and 2010. There's an ad, goodbye. And possibly more we haven't yet discovered. Dubbed the Long Island serial killer, the extent of these unsolved crimes is still unknown. It was only after authorities accidentally stumbled upon human remains while searching for missing sex worker Shannon Gilbert that they realized Gilgo Beach might be a dumping area for a serial killer. After initially uncovering 4 bodies, police widened their search and discovered another 6. 8 of them were women, all escorts who used Craigslist to advertise their services. So they're sex workers on Craigslist, and you can, like, I guess, hook up with them from that app from Craigslist. Making sure Craigslist. Craigslist.
Is it Craigslist?
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
One body. Why do you do that?
No, because
You have like an in between laugh. Like you don't laugh fully, but you don't do it like you don't not anything. You like just breathe really loud and like.
Because I was on my phone a second ago playing a game, and all I heard of what you said was just Craigslist. All I heard you say was Craigslist over and over again. Okay, sorry.
Okay, one body was that of a toddler, later discovered to be the daughter of one of the victims. Another body was that of a cross-dressed male, adding further mystery to the killer's motives. Several suspects were soon identified, but none of them with any conclusive ties to the 10 victims found. It's theorized that the killer possibly has a law enforcement background, judging by how he's managed to elude capture for so long. There's other ones. Jeff Davis 8 killers. Between 2005 and 2009, the bodies of 8 women between the ages of 17 and 30 were found dumped in the swamps of Jefferson Davis Parish near Jennings, Louisiana. That's a long word. Interestingly, the victims had several things in common. Several of them knew each other, one pair of victims even being cousins. Perhaps more bizarrely was that all the victims acted as police informants, several of whom actually reported on other Jeff Davis victims before their own murders. The investigation into murders of the Jeff Davis 8 never identified a legitimate suspect, but led to wild allegations of misconduct against Louisiana police. Muddling in the case further, an investigative reporter later stated the person or people responsible for these killings were most likely part of the law enforcement. Given each victim's history, this isn't too implausible. The fact that the perpetrator or perpetrators could be investigating their own crimes makes the Jeff Davis 8 a particularly disturbing case. Today, the case is known as a possible example of police corruption. 2019, interest in the case was renewed as a result of Showtime's new documentary on the case.
Huh.
That's sketchy, you know, like, for, like, police, like with the nurse, you know, like, you expect these people to be, you know, on your side, like, Like, imagine a police officer, like, comes up, you know, and, like, oh, hi, officer. They suspect it was a police person or someone of the government.
So this one, similar to the police officer, he wasn't really a serial killer. I think he only killed a couple people, but they were both his wives. It was Drew Peterson, and he was a police officer, so everyone trusted him. He was a big name, everyone knew him, and he killed his first wife, I think because she made him angry, so he killed her, and then
that's not serial killer counted, right?
and then he pretty quickly.
No, serial killer has to be multiple people.
No. Serial killer is like you kill for the fun of killing. You don't kill for like a specific reason.
Well, I'm just talking about this guy. And then he gets another wife, and he kills her. Then he gets another wife, and he kills her.
This guy should probably start thinking of other things to get.
Isn't there a movie called, like, My Wife is a Axe Murderer or something like that with what's his face?
Paul Rudd?
Mike Myers. No,
Anyway, so
I've
this
seen
guy
it.
kills a bunch of wives, and then eventually he's caught. He was a police officer, though, and it was a really weird case with him. But
Okay, this was the case of the Scream Killers. They're high schoolers. Basically, what they did is they modeled their murder plan off of the movie Scream. They were at a party at this person's house with some other people, and then when they left, they got their murder weapons and their masks, and they went back into the house. They hid, like, they snuck into the basement and were, like, breaking shit to, like, try to scare her. And then when she was alone, when, like, the person that she was with left, they, like, went upstairs, went into, like, the living room where she was, like, watching TV and stabbed her, like, 40 times.
yeah.
Oh, I just stopped because no one was saying anything. And
I was listening.
Felt like I was just talking to no one.
Really? Is that how it felt?
Yeah.
When people put up their phones and like completely space out.
Oh
and
yeah,
stop
Morgan
listening
was
to what we're
listening,
saying?
and I listen to you more than him because you have a better voice than him. You read stories better than he does. No offense.
Because I
Morgan.
have a lot of saliva.
No, it's not your voice itself.
It makes it hard for me to talk.
Or I've done it more.
Well, it doesn't matter why. It's the fact that it is, and so I.
Oh, dang it. There's this guy that... Anyway, what you were talking about with stabbing her a bunch of times reminded me of this guy called Fat Dan.
Tell me about Fat Dan.
He was stabbed 38 times, and he survived. 'Cause he was so fat.
I think I heard about that.
And then there was another teenager who survived getting stabbed 100 times by playing dead. All right, I got another. This one's fun. By funny, I mean, you know, as much as a serial killer can be funny. So his name is, well, their names. We got Charles Starkweather, Carol Ann Fugit. So you got Fugit and Starkweather. Okay, so Starkweather and Fugit, they were, I think Charles Starkweather was 19, I want to say, and she was like 16. She was much younger than he was, and they got married, or they were dating or something.
Okay.
But Starkweather was known for being, number one, fucking stupid as shit, and angry. Anyway, so Charles Starkweather, stupid and angry, but he killed people. So he kills one person first, and from that, Carol was kind of morbidly obsessed with him, and so that's kind of why she fell in love. And people don't really know whether she kept going along, because she tried to play it off as if he was making her do this and making her go along with his plans. But eventually, Charles Starkweather murders Carol's mom, dad, and 2-year-old sibling. So he goes up to her house, with a gun, shoots the mom, bludgeons the dad, kills the kid, right? And then, so he takes Carol, and they go on this whole big murder spree for like 2 years, and they're not caught, but they're doing it in the dumbest ways, because people know it's them. They know it's Charles Starkweather, but they keep getting away with it and keep running away. And it was just he's really stupid, and I want to do a full episode on him because it's really funny and interesting stuff, but he was a crazy guy who was very stupid, very angry, and killed people just because either she told him to or because he was angry at him.
Would you rather hear about the West Mesa Bone Collector, Brazil's Rainbow Maniac? Let's do that one.
Let's do that one.
It's not just the USA where serial killers go uncaught. It happens all over the world. The Rainbow Maniac was a serial killer in Carapicuba, Brazil. Over the span of 18 months between 2007 and 2008, the Rainbow Maniac killed 13 people execution style with bullets to the head, all of whom were killed in Patrice Park and then dumped in nearby bushes with their trousers around their ankles. One of his victims he beat to death with his 12th victim was shot a grand total of 12 times. Sao Paulo, where sorry if I'm butchering this, Carapicuba is located, has remained one of the most progressive cities in South America. However, at the time of the murders, several ultra-conservative groups were highly vocal of their intolerance towards homosexuality. It's possible that the person responsible for these killings was a vengeful homophobe looking to reduce the numbers of gay community. In 2011, a suspect was arrested in relation to the killings, was not found guilty by the deciding jury. So whoever the Rainbow Maniac might be is still out there, and it's very possible he's gotten away with murder.
Okay, I have one.
Is that a killer clown?
Smiley face killers.
This one is
Oh, yeah.
What?
John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy. He's the
We're definitely gonna do an episode on him.
Pogo the Clown.
Pogo?
Pogo the Clown. Should I now talk about it though, since we're gonna do it
You
later?
can give a little preamble.
He was an American serial killer and sex offender who raped, tortured, and murdered at least 33 young men and boys. Gacy regularly performed at children's hospitals and charitable events as Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown. Basically, he would lure people into his basement and then rape and kill them.
Yeah. No, that's
But he was the inspiration for a lot of killer clown stuff,
Uh,
which is cool. 'Cause I like killer clown stuff. It's interesting.
I
He
wouldn't
looks
say it's
very
cool,
rotund.
but- You mean
Bouncy,
is it rotund?
round.
I mean, he's a killer, right? So I can
Gigantopithecus.
say that about him?
Oh yeah, he was a fucking fat ass.
Okay. What the hell?
Chonky boy.
Oh, we lost some weight. Look at that.
Thickums. All right, well, I think that's good enough. We can make do with what we got.
It's gonna be short.
We should have named us like the Scooby-Doo Mystery Gang.
This is
That's how we get copyrighted for everything we
Or
own.
the Dooby Scooby
I think Circus Mystery is
Gang of
fine.
Mystery.
Circus Mystery.
This has been the serial killer episode already.
Yeah. What we decided halfway through the episode that was going to be the serial killer episode.
Yes.
So I hope you enjoyed that. We will be definitely doing episodes on at least a couple of these guys, full episodes. But until then, we're going to research. We're going to find some good stuff on them, and then.
I mean, you're gonna research, and I'm gonna forget about it until the day that we're doing
Yeah,
this.
same. I haven't researched
That's happened.
anything.
Anyway, thank you for listening.
My PC battery is running low.
Thank you for listening. Have a
Golf
good
with some
day.
white toes.
We'll get back to you with the
Ready?
next week
Toes?
with some fun
Toes.
stuff.
I'm gonna
I
try
like
bottle
toes.
flip
I
it.
actually don't like
Peace.
toes. I don't have a foot fetish. Don't worry.